If I act like I didn't hear you, tell the guy next to you with a bigger pair to holler it out. I usually start my demos explaining how I went blind, why I went blind, and how I taught myself to turn, and how I'm totally in the black. I can't see no shadows, no lights, no nothing. How I've never seen a bowl turned or a Christmas ornament. I have seen ink pens turned, I have to admit that. But I don't want to take all that time. Rich has got a couple magazines that's got articles on me. He's got a video. Okay, I'm going to do Christmas ornament, barrel stay. Vanna's a little slow. This is what we're going to try to accomplish. I hollowed out, I put a BB in there so the naysayers can tell it is hollowed out. Pass that around. Here's what I start out with. It's the way I come up with it is lost that good piece. Got 6 of the triangles and then 6 spacers. I glue these 5 pieces together and I pack them all up nice and neat, put wax paper on my table, set this down on the table, push it all nice and tight and just let it set. I'll fill the whole table with these. Next day I get up, I come out to the shop and I take these and I hit them on a belt sander. Smooth them all up. I can feel them if they're smooth or not. Then I take them over to the bench, wherever that other piece went, and put glue on all the surfaces, put them together, put a rubber band on it. Go ahead and pass that around. Then I end up with a piece like this, all glued up. I take it over to my radial arm and I just clean up the ends because I'm not a good gluer. Grab my, I think it's my 4-inch chuck. I just grab this in the chuck like that, turn them around, turn a tendon on them. And then I go ahead and this is my blank that I start with. So, just gonna go ahead and do this too. So I rough them out to like this. This is what I'm going to rough out here in a few minutes and show you how I do it. Drill a hole in it, 3/4 inch hole, rough it out to this. Then I take and make a whole pile of these. I know this is big to end up with that icicle, but I own a half of a sawmill. This is just stuff grows on trees. And I have found, I use it for other things, but it dries, if I made them smaller, they crack and split and twist, and I don't, so I'm going to rough it out to this, and I'll explain later how I cut these tendons. They're all exactly the same, they're already back cut, so that they'll go on and they'll lay on that globe really good like that. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here and go ahead and rough out the globe. I'll rough out somewhere like 20 or so at a time. I go ahead and put my tailstock up here before I tighten that up. Kind of helps center it a little more. The people that buy my Christmas ornaments, blue-haired little old ladies, they don't care how centered, or every once in a while a wood turner will grab one and I can just hear him saying, "That ain't centered." And I'm blind, man, I'm blind. 3/4 inch Forstner bit. I tape my fingers up because I got to touch everything. And when it's turning this fast, it's really hot, it's sharp. In fact, I did a demo yesterday in Champaign. This ring finger I don't tape up. It's my really looking hard finger. So when I really have to look at something, I use that. And I was doing a lidded box, a loose lid box, and I hit the edge of that box and sliced the heck out of my finger. Okay, I put the tailstock up because I get catches. I get a lot of catches. Safety. Be safe. Shut your lathe off. Move your stuff around with the lathe shut off. Wear your face shield at home. When I'm doing this, I got a complete face shield on. AAW. Join AAW. We all wouldn't be here without them. Go support the Louisville show, Louisville AAW next year. Rumor is there's some really great turners at it. I don't know what speed I turn at. I just turn fast as I can and still be safe and comfortable. You are going to see me look down, maybe even like for 50 years when I could see, whatever my hands were doing, my eyes were looking. And today I've been blind 16 years, and my mind still is telling my eyes, well, look, look, look. And it won't work. Sharpening, nobody sharpens enough. Just, if you're a beginner, just sharpen, sharpen, sharpen. This isn't a class, this is a demonstration. This isn't the only way, this isn't the right way, this is the way it's easiest for me. If you're going to do it, you're going to probably do something a little different. And it's what works for you is the best way to look at this. Figure out, I usually get about 3 globes out of these. I apologize if my fingers are in the way. Well, that globe got a little small. I like my Christmas ornaments smaller. When I first started, they were big and bigger, and now they're getting smaller. That was a 1/2 inch flare gouge. This was 1/2 inch. I don't know scraper. I ain't afraid to use scrapers and sandpaper. I use a lot of each. Put that with a little sandpaper. Okay. And now part it off. Go ahead and part it off. I wear a belt so I can keep track of where my tools are. Before I started using the belt, I was chasing tools all the time. Where's that other globe? That globe got a little small, but that's how I rough out the globe. I'm going to use this globe for the demonstration if you don't care. So I will go ahead and make the rest of those. In fact, I make, got them gallon and ice cream buckets. I make whole bunch of them. And it shortens up all my setup. It's a lot easier to set up that way. Now I'm going to rough out this for the icicle.
That one's a little off center too, by the way.
You notice I said good woodturners say that? I know this isn't the way to hold wood on a lathe. Should use tendons. I do this all the time and normally don't have no problem. I think one of the things that helps me out is I bring that tailstock up, I loosen this up, and then I push that in really hard, and it gets it up flat against the back of that chuck, so it gives me my 2 footprints on it there. So, and tighten it down real tight, like this is someone else's chuck. Release that a little bit. Half-inch bowl gouge again is my go-to tool. This isn't to be anything pretty. You just get that reduced down. And I feel something on the end there. I think it'll still work. This is a piece of cherry. I like to use cherry in the demo. It's just turned really good. Okay, now we need a tendon on the end there. My tendon cutter. This is I wanted my tendons all to be easy to make and all the same size, and I couldn't come up with that. And I finally come up with this. This is a hole cutter for plumbers use it. They cut big 4-inch holes in floor joists and stuff. And it's designed to cut a smooth hole on the inside. Well, it's got this bevel cutter on it. I wanted it to make a smooth tendon. Well, with the bevel cutter, it just happens to cut that little relief you see in there. And it's a step to do, but it just works so good for me that I like it and I use it. Doesn't feel like that's in the center. So I run this up there, I'll pass that around later. I run it up until my drill bit, I've shortened my drill bit so it just barely hits. And then when the cover hits, you gotta look down at your wheel and see where your wheel is, and you go 3.5 tenths. 1, 2, 3.5. And there's that tendon made. I gotta make another one, so when I'm done, I'll send that around. And it's gonna be the same size all the time. It's easy. I like easy. I'm going to get catches, so I'll put that back up there. This is a 3/8 inch bolt gouge. And I will start pulling this off here as I get back down. You can hear it, you can feel it, there just come off. You can probably see a shadow now. That made a straight tunnel, and then it gets to the V, and the V is where I want to get to. I want to get all that straight tunnel off. That's going to be actual tendon part. Now that would be good. That's big around, that flare. I like the flare smaller. To me, it makes me think it looks more dainty. Smaller. Christmas ornaments with wheels on it, we don't need. Okay, so now then, that's real sharp, and that where I cut it off and it's slanted down in there. So I just hit it with a little sandpaper, and then I can hit it like this, and that really chews up and makes that part that lays on the globe really good there. Okay, we'll come down here, get close to my chuck. This is a dedicated chuck for this kind of stuff. I've hit these so much it rounded them off really good. I do all my own sharpening. I got the little ring, the berry grind, and CDD. Not that small. So now I figure out how much I need for the cap. I make the cap down here. Again, I try to, everyone says, well, you probably ought to act like you're trying to learn the turn instead of just chewing away at it. I don't like spindle turning. This is always spindle turning I do. This end that I made for the cap is maybe a little small, but I got other ones. So now I go ahead and part this off. And now we need another tendon. Again, I might have got that little small top. Don't drop this. I might not, I forgot, might have forgot, she said. So when you get this is made to cut the smooth inside hole. So I take the cutter out and turn it around, so it cuts a smooth tendon. I might have failed to say that. Again, hit this with a little sandpaper. Part it off. Little chuck change here. That was Supernova 2. These are G3s here. At this time, I take off my big face shield and I take all these parts over to my mini lathe because I don't want to stand there and turn all day on the big lathe. This is small stuff. It's easier, smaller, just works better. Globe. Okay. So now I've turned this chuck down. These chucks, this pin jaws is 1 inch, and I used to turn them 1 inch, and that's a big hole. And it was a big ornament, and I wanted to shrink them down, so I had this turned down to 3/4 of an inch. I use a 3/4 inch Forstner. I usually do. Now I don't know anyone with a metal lathe, so if you come up and inspect this, I butchered that with carbide diamond tip. And it's working for me right now. And what happens is when I hollow out the inside, I keep hitting that. So it keeps shortening and keeps shortening and keeps shortening. And I gotta go back at it. Yeah, that was a whole long pin jaw. It's mine. I can hit it with a tool if I need to. Okay.
You have a sponsor.
Yeah, I got a sponsor. Let me go back to the 3/8 inch bowl gouge here. Every once in a while, I'll grab one of these and pull it off the lathe, or 3 or 4 of them in a day. And then Jackie comes home and it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt. She finds them for me, and I just put them back on there and try it again tomorrow. If you go the way I'm going here, I'm pushing it on the chuck, so I'm not. And if I would just slow down like if I was at home, it would be better. It's just a bead, and I can't turn beads very good at all. I love to turn ornament. Counting them new bells I got there. Usually I get about 100 Christmas ornaments a year. I'm up to 129 this year. And I got about 10 or 11 more bells that I'm going to get finished. Then I'm done with Christmas ornaments until December. I start December, I start next year's Christmas ornament.
He has what he calls Christmas Ornament Wednesday. Every Wednesday he goes out there and he makes Christmas ornaments.
I need discipline. And if I got the rule, I use the rule. Okay, that's globy enough, round enough for me. So I'm going to hollow it out. This is my hollowing tool. Jackie has them. Just tell her you know me and you can get the hollowing tool for $60. You don't even need a handle. Steve had one of these for a year and just did it without a handle. I don't glue the handle on. There's no torque in this at all. It's just Dave Indris is credited for it. It stops all the torque. Again, you don't want to go in here like you got a 4-inch tendon on this thing. Just take your time and feather it out. And then when you get going, you can make it just as thin as you want. The people that buy it, of course Charlie's never bought one, but he would know how thick they are. So at home, I shut it off and blow it out. And I hate to have, where I demonstrate, I hate to have break out an air compressor just for this thing, so I do that to it. What I do is I hollow this 2/3 of the globe, turn it around, and then hollow this end of it. And I do that. That's another step, but it's easy for me. I want to keep it easy. You being sighted, you could probably just hollow this whole thing out without flipping it. If that works for you, that's great. But I've tried it and I fight it too much. I don't like fighting it. This will hollow stuff that deep. Any hollow vessel in it. Some people all want to put longer handles on it. That's fine, but there's not a lot of. Well, I guess if you get really deep, there's going to be a little bit of, but no twist and torque. There will be a little bit of this. Just shorten that chuck a little more.
Is that torque arm
commercially available, or did you make that custom?
This is custom. I have this made at a shop. No, it's all ordered. I order it and they make them for me. What, you trying to buy parts? Yes, wood turners.
Always looking for the end.
That's good enough, but I'm going to do it just a little bit more. You all get the plan. You know the plan, so if I blow it up, it's like, stupid blind guy blew it up. Yeah.
What are you aiming for the wall thickness?
Not breaking the piece. Again, once it's glued together, them little old blue-haired ladies do not know how thick it is.
Do you use your hearing to tell how thin you got it?
Yes, I can't. You just got my Band-Aid caught in there. Yes, I do. And that works a lot. That gets me closer. It can be deceiving, especially this laminated, glued up stuff. If you got a little bit of a bad, a little bit of a bad glue joint, it will make a different noise. Okay, so I flop it around and go after it again. I have a spacer at home on my tool rest that makes it perfect every time, so. This would be a lot easier for you. You guys can see that your shaft is hitting the side of the ornament. I can feel it and hear it. Yeah, I'm spending more time on this than I would at home. Because it doesn't matter. It's hollow. It's light. That was the purpose. Trent Bosch was sand the inside of these. And I asked him why. He says, well, if they break it, then know how good it was on the inside. Okay. Oh, I forgot to sand it. I'm going to sand it a little bit while I don't have to sand it. You guys know how to sand. So I sand it. I'll do 100. No, I do 120, 200, 220. Oh my God. I do 120, 220, 320. Then I take the nylon pad, and I hit it with the nylon pad. Then I have a mixture Jackie mixes for me. It's 4 parts Death lacquer thinner, not Death lacquer thinner, but lacquer thinner, and then 1 part Death lacquer. And I take and squirt some on a little paper towel, and while this is running, I just grab a hold of it and kind of burn it on there, take it off, grab the nylon pad, grab it, hit it again and burn it, and it's all done. No, it's all done ready to be glued together. Then, once I glue them together, yeah, you got a step ahead of me there. With the icicle.
So it's 4 parts thinner and 1 part lacquer?
Yeah, I use that as a sanding sealer. Yeah. And then to finish it,
then Jackie helps me glue it together because I've tried it and, well, why aren't you putting this one with this one and why aren't you putting this one with this one? Follow me, honey. So,
He was putting colors that didn't go together good. So I helped him.
so we're changing the chuck again because I don't want to screw up that chuck. This is another small chuck, but if you look, I've got this all rounded off here because I keep hitting it to get real close to make that top, that flare thin. Why is it going on so hard? Yeah. This is why I do a pile of them at a time, because I don't like the setup. Okay. This is the one I roughed out. So we're putting, whenever you do that, whenever you part them off, they always got a little nub on there. You need to sand that nub off. I have found out that live center will hit that nub and go off to the side of the nub, and that's going to split in it. Yeah. That wasn't a good piece of work to start with. So you want to get this on here nice and tight. Make sure I had it centered.
Hey Michael, I got one of those circle cutters too at home, but the bit isn't beveled like yours is. How did you get the turn in?
Mine was just come from the factory. That he has a circle cutter at home, and it's not beveled. Mine come that beveled, but just put it on your grinder and bevel it if you want. I like that. Live sand. I'm sorry, what was that question?
It seems like the cover on yours is not in the same plane as the drill bit. It seems like it's leaning back.
Can't see it, can't tell it. Seems to be working.
I think maybe that's adjustable under that Allen screw where you adjust the thing. I think you got a little bit of plane to make that angle.
Ah. I see. Okay, I use the tail stop for a good reason. Okay. So 3/8 inch spindle gouge is what I use. I'm going to raise that up a little bit. Spin it as fast as you want until it's comfortable. You want to keep it comfortable. Get it trued up here. Speed's not as important as sharp tool. I'm going to leave a little bit of waste block down here. Okay, now up here, I'm going to rub my bevel on this chuck. That's why that chuck's rounded off like that from all this rubbing on it. And I do that so I can get real close to the chuck and pull that wood off of there. Sometimes I get too close and pull all the wood off, and then I throw this away and start again. I think I did that one pretty good. Yep. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and go to the 3/8 inch spindle gouge. I don't have a lot of spindle tools. I don't like spindle work. This is just about all the spindle work. This and a couple of short spindles is all I do. Just reduce it down. I'd like to put little dragon tails or little arrowheads or whatever on them. Make them blue-haired old ladies think I really worked at it. Just leave meat up here, work this down to what you want. If I'm not putting two of them little dragon tails on this one. Reduce it down to however thin you think it can go. The way I make these, there's no hand sanding, no checking the tendon. Just, it all fits together like papa weights or something. How am I doing on time? I call this end down here the busy end. Jackie gets on me sometimes because I make it too busy. She said more is better, less is better. And she's in charge. Okay, now, while I still got the tailstock up here on this little waste block, sandpaper. And go ahead and take some sandpaper and This is 100 grit, I believe. And go ahead and clean this up. You can turn it. You can get your little screw out and screw the heck out of it. You can turn it with your spindle gouge. I can't. I can, but it takes me too long. I lose too many. I can do that with 100 grit right there, and it's as good as any of them that are sitting over there. So now I take this little waste block off. In case if this breaks, I don't want to spend all my time doing the little bit of detail work that I do down there. So you take this off, you just pare it off, you don't part it off. You got to come in here and touch the bevel on the wood. You don't want to touch the cutter on the wood, it breaks. So touch the bevel on the wood and then raise your tool up and just take a little bitty, and then you'll feel it, you can hear it. That tailstock is making a lot of noise. I'm kind of holding it as a steady rest here with my finger. There we go. Okay, so now, so now I want to sand this. In case if I break it, I'm going to sand it a little better. I set my thumb down on my tool rest, brace my elbow up here, and I can use my thumb as a steady rest so I can push the sandpaper against it and less chance of breaking it. And just take all my tool marks out of it. If I want it real sharp for them little kids that think they're swords. Again, I got my sandpaper screwed up yesterday and went out partying last night. And I didn't get it redone. So what this would be 120, 220, 320. Okay, now I come up here and I do what I call the busy end. Anything you want. I like a little disc on mine. It just, I don't know, gets me started or something. Start a little end. This is a 1/4 inch bowl gouge that I just grind the heck out of it and made it as pointy as I could. And I've used it so long I had to flatten the shaft so that my berry grind still goes on it. But just come in here and make some beads and codes. The people that know how to turn will tell you there's 3 cuts: a bead, a code, and a straight cut. So it's pretty simple. I kind of do that, then I'll say, okay, let's make a little kind of bead. At this time, a lot of my, you can see them over here. Throw another bead here. I take and make one big long bead here, and then I'll take it to my rose engine. I stop the lathe, I swing that chuck off. I don't take it out of the chuck. Take it right over, put it on the rose engine, and cut a little, couple of divots in it, and makes people think I put a lot of work in it. Now I use this Easy Wood detailer, they call it. It's a diamond shaped thing. I go in there and I clean up these, I guess, codes I made. Sharpens them up, makes it look like I did it on purpose. So now I do the final sand on this. Just round those beads off that you made. Nice and good. The same 3 grits. Should turn that big piece of wood into a little piece of wood. Seems like a waste, but it just works for me. Nylon pad. Nylon pad. I didn't see it there. This nylon pad burnishes the wood. If you can burnish your wood a little bit, and the way it's explained to me is you literally burn it. Scorch it. Do that, put that 1 coat of my sandy sealer lacquer, and then hit this again, and it's ready to, give me a cap. It's ready to go in the bucket so that she can match them up. Now you make the cap out of that little piece that you had earlier. And when I send them around, I have them rubber banded together. That's what I do. After I get them turned, don't put rubber bands on, they'll break. I got some sandwich bags I just use over and over, put them in sandwich bags. To keep them together, Jackie thinks they're kept together, they're better. And this 3/8" bowl gouge, you reduce this down. Okay, now I come in here close. Now I go to my 1/4" bowl gouge. That's a little tall knob, so I shorten the knob up. Get into the Christmas ornament exchange. You beginners, make a Christmas ornament. Get in the exchange. You may end up with Jeff's ornament or Charlie, John. Get you a nice ornament, and then they get one of your furs. And then if they live long enough, when you get better, they can win one of your good ones. Again, another just simple little bead. I've only made several hundred of them little beads this year. So now we sand this. And if you don't get this really close, you could just reduce it down with sandpaper. It's not a big deal. Then I need to get a hole in the end of this for my, again, I go through the 3 things of sandpaper. So I need to get a hole in this to put that little eye in it. That eye is, we get them at the Hobby Lobby. It's jewelry findings for the girls that do the beadwork. And I needed a real small drill bit, and that was hard to come up with. And Dave Enders says he can get me some, but I ain't got a hold of it. So it's very, very small. I couldn't find nothing, so I thought about saying it's stiff wire. I was looking for a nail, couldn't find a nail the right size. So I don't know how it come to me, but it was fish hook shaft. So I cut the bottom out and found a fish hook that was the right diameter. I want to move this up and put a little dent in it, so the fish hook has got a place to go. So I cut the hook off of it, an eye off of it, and I got a real stiff, nice piece of wire that's the right size. And you don't really got to crank it in there. You can just put it up here and just push it in, and it drills that hole pretty slick. The problem is transporting this across the country. So I put a little piece of PVC on it. Nylon pad, lacquer again. So Jackie glues them all together, putting eyes in them. Or she helps me glue them all together. And I've made hooks, hoops, and I got 1x squares that I clamp on my bench, 2 foot long, and I'll take like 30 of these, and I can hold 30 at one time. I got 3 boards, and I'll get my bucket of polyurethane, my nitro gloves on, grab a little cheesecloth, wipe the ornaments, hang them up, wipe the ornaments, hang them up. Next day I come out, hit them with a little real light, just knock the nubs off at 320, unless there's a bad spot, then I sand it. Repeat that the next day, and then hit the nubs off again. And
Usually one coat polyurethane will do it, aerosol polyurethane Minwax. And sometimes it takes 2 coats, it just depends on how often you hit the ornament. That's it.
Fantastic.
No questions?
Wonderful, wonderful demonstration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. The winner of the President's Challenge was Charlie Sapp's Red Apple. Woohoo! Way to go, Charlie.
It was red?
He dyed it red. Michael, thank you one more time. It was really, really fantastic having
Thank
you
you.
do this for us.
Oh no!
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Check this out.
You guys, no questions for him. So the November wine and cheese party, make sure you